84% of entrepreneurs struggle with imposter syndrome, and the other 16% are fucking lying. Even Albert Einstein, yes, that Einstein, called himself an involuntary swindler. The same guy who literally rewrote the laws of physics thought he was faking it. But here's what nobody tells you. That voice in your head saying you're not good enough, it's not you, it's a virus. A piece of corrupted code running in your mental operating system. And just like any virus, once you identify it, you can debug it and delete it permanently. I know because I've been there. Hi, I'm Johannes, and as a high-performance mindset coach who's worked with everyone from startup founders to billion-dollar companies, I have not only debugged this virus in myself, but also helped hundreds of entrepreneurs do the same. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify this virus, where it came from, and most importantly, how to kill it for good. Holy shit, the comments on the last video blew me away. Dozens of you shared which mental viruses you've been struggling with, and your courage to admit these limitations publicly is already the first step toward debugging them. Quick recap. In the last video, I revealed how mental viruses, specific lines of corrupt code installed in your mental operating system, are the primary reason entrepreneurs fail to implement what they know. These aren't some vague mindset issues. They are precise, identifiable viruses with specific origins, predictable activation patterns, and direct impact on your business result. The opportunity I revealed is that once you debug these mental viruses, implementation doesn't require willpower or discipline. It becomes your natural state of being. Let me tell you the exact moment I discovered the solution to imposter syndrome. Years ago, I was sitting across from Steven in his office. I think it was my third or fourth visit. Steven was a wonderful and warm human being, a brilliant business and mindset coach, and he had this incredible sense of humor that made even the hardest truths digestible. He was asking me about my career, and suddenly he said, "Well, Johannes, you've been successful, haven't you? I mean, you managed a fitness center, you did impressive work on ships, you were one of the best PTs worldwide for 2 years on the cruise lines, and you spoke on stages in front of thousands of people. After that, you were one of the best managers, you sold over 1 million from stage. For years, you traveled the whole world and have seen 178 countries. I mean, I would call this a successful life." And I immediately deflected. Well, I was just lucky, mostly because they put me on a German ship and I was the first German personal trainer. And look at me now. I mean, my CryoSpar revenue is hardly reaching fixed costs. Don't know if I would call this a success. And Steven leaned forward, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Well, you know, it sounds like modesty, but I'm not buying it. There's a name for this pushback that I'm always getting from you when it comes to any of your achievements having anything to do with you or your talent. And it's called the imposter syndrome." I tried to laugh it up. That's not a good day. It's not a good day, Steven. Come on. I knew something was off, but he was telling me I had some weird condition that sounded like the name of an Alfred Hitchcock movie, the imposter syndrome. But Steven was putting a name to something I'd been suffering since I was a kid, over 2 decades. One of the main reasons for my imposter syndrome was growing up as the first son of 4 with my father as a mayor and me going to the elite school that he attended as a kid. I was terrible in math and physics and never got a grip. That's why I failed 7th grade and got sent to middle school. Then came weed and hip hop, and very quickly my father labeled me as a failure. There were fights with my mother every day about school, terrible grades, and I failed 9th grade in middle school one more time as well, making me even more of a failure. I never fit in their system. I was always different and always felt like an outsider and not enough. And my parents, bless them, because they didn't know better, and all the teachers told me this again and again and again. Their constant criticism created traumas that, if not worked on, will follow for life. I remember one night, 20 years later, I was staring at the send button of my proposal. This potential client was bigger than anything I'd worked before. They were the biggest online e-commerce marketplace of European origin. They'd done 2.2 billion last year, billion with B. My finger hovered over the mouse and that voice kicked in. "Who are you to work with these guys?" There I was in my living room, next to the open kitchen, running everything from a 5-year-old laptop. I didn't even have a mouse or a second screen. And the voice kept going. "How long have you been just doing now, Johannes? 6 months? If even? Who are you kidding? And you really believe you can help these industry giants with their lead generation?" You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? That moment when a massive opportunity presents itself and your mind starts running its doubt exit file. When you look around your bedroom office or the coffee shop you're working from and that voice whispers, "Who are you to play at this level?" You're staring at your proposal, comparing yourself to agencies with fancy offices and 10-year track records, and your mind running more doubt programs than open Chrome tabs? What if they find out how young you are? What if they ask about your team size? And it's not just these big moments, is it? It's the daily fucking grind of feeling like a fraud when you are recording that tutorial video for the 15th time because you don't sound expert enough. Been there, done that. Working twice as hard because you're convinced everyone else knows something you don't. Or lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering when they'll find out you're not as good as they think. That voice gets louder with every opportunity, doesn't it? Every time you're about to level up, there's the voice that says, stay small, stay safe. Who do you think you are? They see right through you. While doing my research, I watched this fascinating TED Talk on YouTube on the topic. And the easiest way I can describe imposter syndrome today is like this. It's like having a crappy best friend in your head who says mean things about you all day long. And that's why I've named mine. His name is Mr. Vader, after Darth Vader. You know, I'm your father, this creepy guy with the black helmet and the cape. And Mr. Vader says awful things. He says things like, well, you got close, but you still screwed it up. Or you know you don't deserve to be here. These people are really smart. Or yeah, you might have done it this time, but I don't know how you do it next time. The strategy for killing your imposter syndrome starts by unmasking this villain in your head. For me, it took a day to recognize every time a bad thought came into my mind. After spending the whole day doing so, I realized how prevalent that voice was. So much that it felt like its own person. That's why I identified him as Mr. Vader, my new arch nemesis. The good thing about Mr. Vader is that once you can hear him, you can understand that voice and you can do something about it. And like always, where there's a villain, there's like also what I like to call the radical hero. And the radical hero is wiser and doesn't buy into that bullshit. He has a deeper point of view. I've named him Neo from the Matrix, like you see here. Neo exposes the Matrix. He's strong, irreverent, and loves to use profanity with Mr. Vader occasionally, and absolutely has a fabulous laugh. One of the best things I can say about this radical hero is that he calls out the lies and the limiting beliefs that isolate people like me and you. I think we all could use the support of a radical hero sometimes, couldn't we? Let me show you how this works in real time. First, you need to become conscious of the voice. Observe your mind and realize when your imposter appears. Next time when you hear the voice, listen to it and turn it into Mr. Vader. Imagine this creepy I'm your father guy speaking to you. Thought alone makes me laugh. I showed to you with my example. Mr. Vader in that sneering voice. Look at you, sitting in your bedroom office with your 5-year-old laptop, thinking you can help a billion-dollar company. Who are you kidding? You should probably get a real job first. And then let Neo give his wiser answer in his profound and funny way. Neo bursting out laughing. Ha! Oh, that's cute. So let me get this straight. You think success depends on where someone sits? On how shiny their laptop is? I mean, tell that to Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon in his garage. Tell it to Mark Zuckerberg coding Facebook from his dorm room. Last time I checked, results don't care about your office size. Mr. Vader desperately, but you've only been doing this for 6 months. You're not ready. Neo again with confident amusement. Ready? You mean like how Facebook waited until they were ready before changing the world? Or how every successful entrepreneur waited for someone's permission to create a massive impact? Here's what I know. While you here worrying about being ready, we're out there getting results. And results don't need a timeline. See what happened there? Neo didn't just counter it out. He exposed how absolutely ridiculous they are. He turned Mr. Vader's sad limiting programming into fuel for massive action. And here's another classic Mr. Vader moment. Mr. Vader in panic. They're going to ask about your team. What about you going to tell them that it's just you and your cat watching Netflix while you work? That your office is wherever your laptop is? They love you out of the meeting. Neo genuinely amused. Oh, this is gold. So you think $1 billion companies care more about how many people sit in your office than the return of investment we can generate for them? You think they prefer a fancy agency burning the money on overhead instead of a lean team delivering actual results? Oh, that's adorable. Mr. Vader desperately clinching. But all these other agencies have fancy websites, whole teams, and years of experience. Neo with a knowing smile. And we have speed, agility, and the hunger to over-deliver. While those agencies are stuck in meetings about meetings, we are actually executing. While they're drowning in bureaucracy, we're innovating. You know what clients really care about? Results. Everything else is just expensive window dressing. This framework isn't just theory, it creates real-world transformation. Let me tell you about one of my clients, Konstantin. Konstantin was the child of immigrants who came to Germany. His parents didn't speak German properly, and throughout his childhood he was made to feel like an outsider who didn't belong. When he started his business, his Mr. Waiter was relentless. Who are you to charge premium rates? You're an immigrant's kid. You should be grateful for any client at all. Nobody will take you seriously with your background and your accent. When I first met Konstantin, he was making around 2,500 a month, despite having exceptional skills that I immediately realized. His Mr. Waiter had created enough artificial revenue ceiling he couldn't break through. I helped him recognize this voice wasn't him, it was Mr. Waiter. Running installed programming, once he could separate himself from this voice and see how fucking ridiculous these limitations were, everything changed. Within 3 months, just 3 months, his revenue exploded to over 25,000 monthly with the exact same skills and services he had before. The only difference was he stopped listening to Mr. Waiter and started following Neo. Konstantin didn't learn new strategies. He didn't develop new skills. He didn't build a bigger team. He simply debugged the imposter virus that was limiting his growth potential, and everything changed. Society wants Mr. Waiter running your brain. Think about it. The education system installed the credentials virus, making you believe you need another degree, certification or approval before you can claim expertise. The corporate world benefits when talented entrepreneurs like you and me undercharge or hesitate to compete because of the imposter syndrome. Even well-meaning parents installed Mr. Waiter when they said things like, "Don't get too big for your britches," or "Who do you think you are?" In the personal development industry, they are sometimes the worst offenders. They sell you techniques to manage or cope with imposter syndrome, never telling you that you can completely eliminate Mr. Waiter's influence. Maybe they pretty sure don't know. They profit from approaches like feel the fear and do it anyways, which admits defeat to Mr. Waiter before you even start. Fake it till you make it, which reinforces the belief that you are a fake. Use positive affirmations, which Mr. Waiter simply laughs at and overrides. Focus on your achievements, which treats the symptoms while the virus remains. These approaches keep you dependent on their continuous motivation, books and courses, because if you actually killed imposter syndrome for good, you wouldn't need their ongoing support. They've convinced you that Mr. Waiter is somehow your authentic self, being humble or realistic. But this is complete backwards bullshit. Your authentic self knows your value and expertise. Mr. Waiter is the foreign program telling you to play small. Imposter syndrome isn't part of your authentic self. It's Mr. Waiter running his bullshit protection program in your brain. You don't need to manage him or negotiate with him. You need to recognize his voice for the ridiculous limitation it is and activate Neo to call out his bullshit and implement despite his protest. Many of you are familiar with Neo, the 3D AI avatar I created to help entrepreneurs debug mental viruses. But what you don't know is exactly how Neo was born. While teaching his framework about Mr. Waiter and the heretical hero, I had this incredible realization. What if I could create an actual AI version of Neo? A digital mental debugging partner that helps entrepreneurs identify Mr. Waiter's voice and call out his bullshit 24/7. I was initially thinking about creating a simple Google sheet to help people implement this approach, but I quickly realized something. Agency owners, including me, today, we are using AI for everything and would engage much better with a tool that felt alive and responsive. So I created a prompt, basically the same framework I just told you, and I started testing it with a small group of agency owners. The response was fucking incredible. People were having breakthrough moments within minutes of conversation with Neo. But I knew it could be even more powerful, so I expanded into a complete 3D AI avatar, a digital Neo that helps you identify and eliminate mental viruses anytime you need it. The amazing thing is, whether you use the AI version or become your own Neo, the fundamental principle remains exactly the same. As soon as you understand that the limiting voice in your head isn't you, but Mr. Waiter, you gain the power to see how fucking ridiculous his objections really are. And the more you practice this, the more you become your own Neo, able to immediately recognize and call out Mr. Waiter's bullshit whenever it appears. So now that you understand how to kill imposter syndrome by recognizing Mr. Waiter and activating Neo, you might be wondering about the other mental viruses we identified in the first video. The verb virus, the invisibility virus, the upper limit virus, and the delegation virus. In the next video on Thursday, I'm going to reveal something revolutionary: the complete neural implementation protocol, NIP, for debugging your entire mental operating system. This isn't just another mindset framework. The NIP is the world's first systematic method for identifying and permanently removing society-installed mental viruses that block execution. Unlike traditional approaches that focus on motivation or willpower, this neurological debugging system bypasses conscious resistance and rewires your implementation pathways at the operating system level, where 95% of your decisions actually happen. You'll discover how Mr. Vader uses these viruses together as a system to keep you stuck, the exact debugging sequence that silences him permanently, in the virus protection protocol that prevents reinfection, and how to make Neo your default operating mode. The reason other approaches haven't worked is they've been targeting the symptoms, not the root cause in your neural pathways. The NIP changes everything by operating at the source code level of your mental operating system. But I want to give you a heads up now. I'll be hosting a special masterclass on Wednesday, June the 18th, 5 p.m. CET, 11 a.m. EST, where I'll be demonstrating the entire debugging protocol live. Block the time or reschedule client meetings already now, because you don't want to miss this. I won't get into all the details yet. That's coming in the next video. But if you're serious about permanently debugging these mental viruses and become an implementation machine, then mark the date in your calendar right now. The masterclass will be limited in size to ensure I can address specific questions, so be sure to watch the next video for all the registration details. But before the next video, I want you to try the Impostor Syndrome Killer Protocol I just told you and share what happens. Comment below with what was the most ridiculous Mr. Vader thought you identified. I'm really curious to hear your thought. How Neo responded to call out his bullshit, even more funny, and what implementation action you took despite Mr. Vader's protests. Your response will not only help solidify this approach, but will help others recognize their own Mr. Vader patterns as well. When we share these ridiculous limitations publicly, they lose their power over all of us. This isn't just the beginning of your mental debugging journey. It's the next video. I'll show you how to take this transformation to an entirely new level with the complete system. Thank you for watching part 2 of the Mental Debugging Masterclass. If this approach resonated with you, share it with another entrepreneur whose Mr. Vader is keeping them playing small. Sometimes just recognizing these limiting thoughts as Mr. Vader's bullshit rather than their own authentic voice can create an immediate breakthrough that changes everything. Block Wednesday the 18th at 5 p.m. CET now, and I'll see you this Thursday for our last video where I will reveal the full neural implementation protocol NIP that will help you to join the 5%.